Hey, Shalom, yeah, Shalom. When the staff Zosba giving no praise to Yahweh Hashem Shai, double honors, post of GMS, and honors brothers are doing the work in truth, what sincerity. I don't know what I'm gonna call this video as of yet, right? Just on the Instagram and that, and I saw this. He's always been this guy, right? His YouTube channel used to be GMS, 16-year-old Israelite, some shit like that, right? Basically. To be honest, personally, I always find that quite a proud channel name because, like, hey, look at me. And in the previous video, made a statement, referencing to these young guys that think they're so great, just because they're young, right? And yet they have no labors. Yet they've not done anything, right? There's no point being young if you ain't doing the work properly, man. All right, so obviously he's got his I don't even know. No, just lucky. I'm a bit amped up, a bit annoyed, rather. So a few months ago, he basically put up a post, uh, implying that one of the brothers was was an Edomite, right? Because he looked like a white skinned man, but he said he actually didn't say that, and he started bucking up against guys that are older than him in the spirit and the truth, God's older than me in the spirit and the truth, man. I was like, yo, man, being proud, and instead of just saying Salakia Akim, because he was saying he didn't say that, but the picture he posted implied that he did, right? And it was just complete. This guy's just completely out of whack, right? But there's this whole new generation now of young. They know this shit. Like, this guy's like 17, man. He's 17 he's trying to say the apostles are going off and he's 17. He hasn't even been alive that long. Apostle Taha been in this truth for over 13 years when this nigga was born, man. Right now he's gonna try to talk shit about the apostles, man. That's why, a lot of you guys, man, they ain't grateful, man. And I always have to remember to always give thanks to the Lord that, the order for giving me this truth and the order for leading me to the apostles of GMS. Because you got guys, right? He basically got butthurt. When brother was like, yo, man, you ain't even part of a camp and you're putting out that shit. Why have you even got GMS in your name? You ain't part of the camp. And he got butthurt. His pride got hurt. Yet he's using those, but, where did he get those names from? Right, his whole argument right now is, no one's above him. No man is above him. So I asked him a simple question: what about the apostle? Not the apostles. What about King David? Or is King David on earth? That was his response. Right, so I asked him, right, well, cool. What about the 12 apostles? Scripture say that in the last days, the 12 apostles will be walking upon the earth, right? Because it says, when the apostles asked, when will these things happen? El Shah replied, in your lifetime. Now, obviously, that was 2,000 years ago. So when did that happen on this side? Right, so that was a reference to reincarnation. But, enough of this babbling, man, because, you get a lot of guys, who know they're Israelites, that learned from the apostles, and then just what do you call it? Just what's the word I'm looking for? It just cast them off, man. Yeah, everything he knows is from the apostles, right? So let me get into the scriptures, right? So this is what do you call it? Yeah, it's like this is a few precepts I've collected on the apostles. There's obviously more. Right, this is Sirach 6:34. Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. Right, so luckily enough, the Lord led me to the apostles of GMS and allowed me to accept what it is that they teach. And Lord's will, he doesn't take that spirit from me, pursuant to Psalms 51:11. Right, but it says, stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. Right, so when you got, when you have the apostles out there doing their vids, man, that's really what you want to be watching. It's why you always got to be careful when you're watching these other camps as well, because slowly but surely, if they ain't right, they'll start sneaking in some doctrine, and then out of nowhere, you'll be like, yo, what's this guy on about, man? Why is he saying that shit for? He's going off, man. But if you ain't privy to it, or rather, if the spirit lets you get taken by it, you'll be taken unawares. It's really and truly, man. Myself, I just watch the apostles and, camps in good standing, right? So it says, Sirach 7:14, it says, use not many words in the multitude of elders, and make not much babbling when thou prayest. Let me get some more that are on point. Right, it says Sirach 7:29 says, fear the Lord with all thy soul and reverence his priests. And who are his head priests on earth right now? His head priests on the earth right now are the apostles, man. They're the ones that have been laboring so that so that people, they're the ones whom the Lord has used so that people in the world know the names of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Yeah, you got guys like that, man. Who you are just ungrateful bastards, man. Absolutely ungrateful bastards. Right? It says, let me see. Oh man, look at this. Because like I said, his thing was basically he doesn't like order in it, as is the case. And I'm sure the apostles have seen this millions of times. But it doesn't mean, you can't get annoyed at it. Apostles have probably seen it too many times to get annoyed by now. But this is Sirach 32:9 says, if thou be among great men, make not thyself equal with them. And what was he saying? He was saying, oh no, no man on earth is above me. Hey man, it means you're an ungrateful bastard who doesn't like order. And you need to repent from that shit, man. Right, it says, and when ancient men are in place, use not many words. Right, and that goes back to making yourself equal with them, man. Hey, I can imagine if I was ever blessed to be around the apostles, right? Then, what do you call it? And then you be because you can feel the spirit that's on them, man. Right. This is Romans 10:15 says, and how shall they preach except they be sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach in the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings, of good things. Right now, the apostles have been teaching for ages and years, right? And so how can you say that they're not sent? Right, the Lord has used them. Who else is bringing out the mark of the beast? What other camp is bringing out the Israelite foreigners, as it is written in the scriptures? The apostles of GMS, right? And man, 1 Timothy 5:17 says, let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. And the apostles labor, man. The apostles labor. Hey, you look at some of the channel names, man. It's only really, what was it, like 3-4 years ago that YouTube stopped kind of clamping down on the channels. But you've got the live streams popping off all the time, right? I remember a time when the apostles would do the sit down at the house, and then on the way to camp they're doing the sit down GMS in transit, for any of you that remember that. And then after that they do the they'll be at the camp session, and during the week they're doing vids whilst working. Because you get a lot you get a lot of cats that like to say, I was working this, that and the other. The apostles were doing it, man. The apostles have been doing it for decades. Yet people would like to say that they're not above. Hey man, I'm below the apostles. I'm below, I am where I am in this truth, man. Right, it says Hebrews 5:12. See, it's on point. So for when the time ye ought to be teachers, right? Ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracle of the Most High, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. Right. So when it's time for you to become a teacher, to start teaching, right, you need someone, the apostles, to teach you. Like I said, this guy be saying, I don't need, no man to worship Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Where did he get those names from? Where did he get the understanding that he was an Israelite? Like I said, he's maybe been in this truth 2 years and he's 17 years old, right? And yet somehow he can say that the apostles are going off. that the apostles are wrong. Like I said, Apostle Tahar's been in this truth had been in this truth for 14 years before this guy was even a dirty thought in his father's forehead, in his father's head rather. Yet he somehow knows. Yeah, I don't see any deep breakdowns on this channel. I don't see Daniel 11. I don't see 2nd Ezra 11, 2nd Ezra 12. I don't see any of those deep breakdowns on this channel. Yet the apostles wrong. And the thing is, hey, those of you in the know, you know that the apostles have some even deeper breakdowns that they even given out yet, man. I remember watching the apostles once, man. He was like, yo, Apostle Tahar, he was saying, a new break, not in his mouth, but he's saying he had come across a new revelation, something new had been revealed to him, and he basically spoke to Apostle Gaban and he said, I've even told you yet, right? So like I said, I just wanted to touch on that real quick, and hey man, pride is a killer, man, because when your pride gets hurt, then hey, you'll do anything. So hey, if you got that proud spirit on you, if you always want to be right, that's a good way to test whether you're proud or not, or rather see whether you're proud or not. If you're always right in your head, if you're always right, if you can always justify being right, then you got some pride demons on you, man. I'm guilty of that. I was looking at certain times like, you'll be discussing with a brother, but then you always want to be right. That's pride, man. You gotta pray that shit off, because you know what it is? You get guys all think they have a breakdown. Hey, yo, apostles, yeah, I was reading this scripture. Is this breakdown correct? And apostles will be like, nah, it ain't correct. Bro, but because he became so invested in that, nah, the apostles can't see it, man. The apostles can't see it. And then now the apostles are off. That's how that pride demon gets you, man. So hey, fast and prayer, man. That's a good thing to do. And things you gotta be careful. You're not careful. You gotta be willing to accept what happens when you pray for pride. Because asking the Lord to make you more humble. What did the apostles break it down? It says it means to humiliate. You don't just pray and say, hey, can I be humble today? And Lord, hey, you've been good. You be humble. The Lord's like, okay, cool. Let me humiliate you a little bit. Alright, so with that, Lord's will, you've been edified. Give all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Kal Halal Yam Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Honors to the apostles of GMS. Double honors, because they're worthy of it, man. They've been laboring. And without them, without the Lord setting them up, the majority of the people out here right now calling themselves Israelites will not be calling themselves Israelites, but will be Moors, will be Muslims. I myself would have been a boneheaded Christian going to church every fucking Sunday, saying, yo, come to service. Right, so with that, Lord's will, you had edified, I'm going to say shalom.